Rubuwado. Everybody, good evening. We are continuing with our series of trying to understand worry. All Itsekiris agree that the most ancient settlement in Warri, the most ancient indigenous Itsekiris settlement in Warri is Okere. That is what the Itsekiri tell us. In fact, when they celebrate Okere festival, they say it is 500 years old. Whereas, since 1498, right? Over about 528 years old. That's what they tell us. But if you tell them what is the Okere, they don't even know. It's actually an Yoruba word, Okere. You cannot pass through Okere during the festival. Just go there. They say that when the Yoruba people came, they said the original name of the festival. It is there they said I wrote it to the Itsekiri people during their article. They said the original name of the festival is Okere. Okere. Urubu. Time to think. He said, but when the Sobos came, they now changed it to Okere, meaning you cannot pass through Okere. It's Okere, meaning it's Okere. Does Okere means you cannot pass through Okere in Itsekiri? Okere. That means you cannot pass through Okere in Yoruba language. Those are things that are of Yoruba origin. With the Itsekiri, as usual, they need to, Even apart from the Supreme Court, when the Supreme Court said that the story of Ekmenede is a fabrication, if you are a historian, an Okere historian, you yourself will even know that it's a fabrication. And nobody caused it. In an attempt to win the Okere case, they came and gave a date for their history. Of course, if they say they have been Okere for 528 years, Okumagba family from Idama to Olodi, from Olodi to Ebo, from Ebo to Okumagba. That is not more than 100 years. So we should be talking about 18 something. So the person who is 500 years will get victory. But prove it. They couldn't. But the person who just put his history, they didn't give dates. They said our father Obeki was in Olom. His son Idama. And they found very many land. And they give a direct link. They prove it. The one that is saying over 500 years now, give your ancestry. Ekmenede begat Ogisi. Ogisi begat Bebenu. Who is the son of Bebenu? I don't know. And from Ogisi to Bebenu was 300 years. And so they just said that there's a lacuna of 300 years. So as it is today, legally, Okere Itsekiri does not have history. Because the Supreme Court dismissed their history. But before the Dudu versus Okumagba case, the Itsekiri people were always using Okere as a plan B. What am I trying to tell you? If, for example, if Buangwe sue Olu to court, Okere people will come and fight to be joined to the suit. That they own all the land from Ekere, Ubori, down to Ogunu, down to Ekurode, down to Buangwe, they are all expanded the land. So this particular man, is always filing to be joined to every suit. Whether it is in Buangwe case, whether it is in Ubori case, whether it is in Ekurode Orobo, Ekurode Itsekiri, you will always see him filing to be joined to the suit. That the whole land down to Ogunu is property of Okere. His name is B.A.M.E. Awani, Chief B.A.M.E. Awani. It's just that in case if Obuangwe is defeating us, we will use Okere to grab the land. That was their thinking. I told you that when people grab land, they calculate. So in every case, you will see Bame Awani. I call it Bame Awani. Even the Professor of Okumagba case is there. Now look at it. I, Chief Benjamin Ade Miyomeje Eyutoyo Awani, Nigerian Christian trader and miner of 20 Rewang Palm Street, Jos, And Ajamigoga Okere worried that they do make oath as follow. I believe, because it says in Jaws, I believe what they do is this: they just call in, he will just use their affidavit and slot it in. It's their plan B. That I have the authority of the other applicants in this suit to make and swear to this affidavit that Ekmenede, the founder of Okere, is the ancestor of the members of the Abo Tosan, a section of Ekmenede Ogisi family of Okere. That Ekmenede begat Ogeyagbon. Here in Idudu Fesa Sokumamba case, Ekmenede begat Ogisi. Here now, Ekmenede begat Ogeyagbon, and Ogeyagbon begat Ogisi, who begat Meli. Meli begat Iyi and Arukileye. In the Idudu Fesa Sokumamba, Ekmenede begat Ogisi. Ogisi begat Bebenu. Here, Bebenu is not even the son of Ogisi. It's Meli, Eyi, and Arukuleye. That Eyi begat Tosan, and Tosan begat Abo. All this one, they don't even tell you whether it is male or female. They're just tracing. Because most of these people is saying that they are female who intermarried them Idudu, them Okumaba, and them Okishidre. They not give their land. They're not twisting story upside down. That we, the applicant and the entire members of the Abo, if not what is Abo Tosan and in this section of a better family, we the members of Ogisi family. Why are you not breaking it? It's not Tosan, this family of Okere are direct descendant of Abo, Tosan, Eyi, Ogisi, Ogeyabo, and Ekmenede. That when Ekmenede arrived at Iwere, in bracket Wari, you understand what I'm trying to tell you? He settled in the area now known as Okere, which area was hitherto uninhabited. That by virtue of the said occupation, the said Ekmenede became owner of the area now known as Okere land. That Ogisi inherited Okere land from Ekmenede, being the eldest of Ifeanyi made said that whom Ekmenede left at Okere when Ekmenede returned to Benin. That at the later date, the said three branches of Ogisi family settled at the three distinct areas of Okere land, which they and their successors occupied, farm upon, and over which they exercised other rights of ownership. That the area occupied by the Abo Tosan, a section of the Ekmenede Ogisi family of Okere, stretching from Ajamimoga village Okere to and to Ogunu village, and also to Buangwe village. I told you they are plan B. They are not trying to use Okere. You know the land I told you. I said in Europe, but there will be one town because there is no national demarcation. They are just forming different street community. So their calculation is that as we are making case with Ato Press, if we cannot prove our case, we will use Okere since Bamiawani is our loyalist. The same calculation in the body, the same calculation it is. Unfortunately, nobody took this man case serious. Now, this is what he said. Now, before now, in 1936, William Moore published a book. His own is that when Ekmenede came, Oluirami was on the other side of Itsekiris. So, Ekmenede wanted to go there to capture him. He said, but when he entered the water, he said the tide of Okere pushed him back 3 times. And discouraged, he decided to make peace because to him, nature was fighting him. So he left his son Ogisi and went back to Benin. A man who paddled all the way from Benin River down to Saple River with men. They don't reach Okere and just to cross go to Itsekiris. Night tide, because they take the go back. Ooh. I'm saying a small strength, not the light gift. That was what he said. As at that time, Ginoa had already died in what? In Ijala. That is what William Moore published. But during the Idudu versus Okumamba case, they threw away this one. That, and he was among the plaintiffs too. The story was this. Now, Ginoa was in Ijala. He was not dead yet. Ekmenede camped with his army in Okere waiting for him. And Ginoa rallied his forces. And they came to Okere. And there was a battle. This one had not been river stopper. there was a physical battle between Ekpenede and Ginuwa's forces. And Ginuwa defeated Ekpenede. The whole Ekpenede, being chief of river staff. He said, Ginuwa that is travel weary, not tired. He said he defeated him. He said when they were coming, Ginuwa passed through Ogunu. Because they want to use that one to grab through Ogunu. And as they were fighting, Ginuwa's Ekpenede's forces became depleted. And so they started running. And Ginuwa forces started shouting, Kereo! Meaning they are small. He said that's where the Okere now came from. And so when they finished the war, Ekpenede settled with Ginuwa, and Ekpenede went back to Benin. And Ekpenede now made Ogisi the head of Okere. You know what justice Itsekiris told them? He said that story is fabricated. That for this case, that there is no way a man as wicked as Ginuwa will make the son of his enemy the head of a community after defeating him in battle. Not even a shape. Just see that kind of story. Forgetting the one you have already written down before, a William Moore. And this one. So you now see that your history in Okere is not clear. And now, what's this comedian name? Ereku Gandoki. Gandoki is not even saying that it is the Ogisi of Odion, their ancestor, the father of Jigini. That is why those people of Okere who don't even know their ancestry, they are not trying to supplant their own Ogisi. And I believe him. Because even the Supreme Court have found out. Now, even the Supreme Court came this name, Ogeyagbon. Because here now, Ogisi is the grandson. In the Dudu verse of Okumabake, Ogisi is the son. In the Dudu verse of Okumabake, in the Dudu begat Begbenu. Begbenu begat Arisha-Toman. Arisha-Toman now married Idudu Ologo, which gave birth to Idudu. You understand? Now, where is Begbenu here? Nothing. Now, for them to make it look like Okere is existing for 500 years, they now, after the court case, Idudu, Ekpenede begat Ogisi. They removed this Ogeyagbon. Ogisi begat Meli. Meli begat Begbenu. Begbenu begat Arukuyeli. Now, what they don't know is that both Begbenu, Meli, and Arukuyeli were all children of Ogisi. It's not Ogisi gave birth to Melu. Melu begat Ogisi gave birth to Begbenu. Begbenu now gave birth to Meli. Meli now gave birth to Arukuyeli. Arukuyeli, Arukulei, Begbenu, and Melu were brothers. Okere does not operate monarchy of father to son. They operate Olaraja, Ogeboro, brother, the eldest brother. So if Begbenu took over from Ogisi, it is not Begbenu's son that will take over from Begbenu. It is Begbenu's brother. Arukulei, they were brothers. They lived at the same time. They are 8 different at 2 years. So you want to use the 2 years to create a dynasty. So by the time they got to Nikoro of Okere 27, Nikoro were grandchildren of Ogisi. Check the dynasty. The first 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 were direct children of Ogisi. Why the next 4 were grandchildren? There's no way you can get 500 years. Check your history. Rubbish. It's not meant for it. We are in a modern world. We are not in AI, where people think and reason. You can't get a genealogy of 528 years. Now, let's look at the genealogy of the Urobos of Okere, for us to know that they are the only people that have a true history in Okere. They don't need to lie at all. Now, if we are to look at this history, it is very clear. Very, very let's take this one. All of them agree that they are the children of Okere. And that you have Idama children who succeeded were Olodi, Ologo, and Edewo. Olodi begat Ebo, who begat Okumagba, who is the father of Daniel Okumagba. Ologo begat Idudu, who is the father of Oyibo Dudu. Idudu of Okere. So you now even see that Urobo people are right there in Okere. For example, Ologo are in Okere today. Then, which is Ologo children. Here they are saying that Idama have 3 children. You have Ologo and Edewo. The 3 children, among Edewo's children are Madam Emebire, who begat Mr. Mislo Sheke, who has now joined Okere people today. It's no longer on this side. And they also have children, and Toro Sheke. They are there. Itifo, who is a later who also came. Itifo begat Onovita. Onovita begat Jarikre. Jarikre begat Chief Akoreaye, who is the father of the 3rd. Like that. A Macro begat Eroye, Ezewo, Ado, and others. And the descendant of Omakri, who are still alive, are Johnson Eburu and Franklin Eburu. They are still there. Now, you see, some of them are on the other side of the Itsekiris people. For example, the Okis today are still some of you have what do you call it? I have a case here, Nikagbasi, Oki, and Warimoshiga, Oki. So even if the Urobos, who are the descendants of these Opari people, who are in Okere Itsekiris today, if you remove their land, what will be removed of Okere will be 10%. Already through renaming, Okere will about taking 75%. So we are talking about a part of Oki now. You are talking about Ologo. Then you are talking about Edewo children who are also on the other side. If you remove them, that will take a whole 50%. Now, we have this one again. Idama begat Olodi. Olodi begat Ebo. Ebo begat Okumagba. Okumagba begat Daniel Okumagba. Then you have Okotemu. Okotemu begat Igobadu. Igobadu begat Rirowere. Erowere begat Honorable. Honorable begat Olayiromi Ole. Then and Sokorube begat Ejiyere. Ejiyere begat Oki. Oki begat Dederu. Dederu begat James Oki, Bawa Oki, and others. And so you have a very clean history of Okere Urobo people. And it is only Okere Urobo people that have a clean history in the Okere Itsekiris side. That is why without Okere Urobo, there is no Okere. Forget all what they are saying. A historian will know the truth. If you can give me a history of 500 years of Okere, a genealogy, I'll give you 1 million naira. Anyway, even if you give it or not, the Supreme Court has already said it's a lie, it's a fabrication. So, go back, take it as a challenge, dig into your history, and salvage the rubbish your ancestors did in court. Agree to that? Robo Wado, Itsekiris Wado.